Okay, welcome Tuesday Hatha. Let's start in child's pose, please. Let's start with your right side facing the camera. Extended if you want, with your arms forward or elbows slightly bent. Or you can stack your hands, let your forehead rest on your stacked hands, or your arms can be beside your body, your torso, palms up. Just relax in child's pose, just focus on the breath for a moment. Feeling the flow of the breath, the inhale and the exhale. Every time you inhale, thank the trees for absorbing carbon dioxide and for releasing oxygen, and other plants. Now come up to hands and knees, please. Rest under your shoulders. Knees under your hips, do some cat-cow, arching and rounding. Warming up the back, loosening up the back. Move slowly, exhale as your back goes up toward the ceiling. Inhale as your back goes down toward the mat. You come back to a neutral spine, cat balancing, right leg straight back, left arm straight forward. Hold the pose. Try not to lift your left heel higher than your buttock, but try to keep it parallel to the floor if you can, to work the back a little more strongly. Lower your right leg and left arm, or whatever it was. Change sides, please. Hold it. Again, lower down. Move your hands a little bit forward rather than directly under your shoulders. Curl your toes under and push back to downward dog. Knees slightly bent. Lift both heels up and then press your right heel toward the mat. Slowly lift both heels up again. Press your left heel to the mat. Keep alternating. You can skip the part where you lift both heels up if it's hard on your toes. Just alternate pressing one heel to the mat as you bend the other knee a little bit. It just puts a little bit more pressure on the straight leg and the heel going toward the mat. So it makes it a little bit stronger stretch when you press that heel to the mat. Because there's a little bit more body weight on that foot. Just keep alternating slowly. Make it a slow, focused movement. And come back to just a regular downward dog, both heels pressing toward the mat. Your knees can be slightly bent if that feels better on your back. Hold the stretch. Extend as much as you can, patting under your wrist if you need it. We're going to do some frontal poses again today. I'm not going to go into details. We've done that. You know that anyway, even without me giving the details. At least you should. Now lift your right leg up, three-legged dog. Keep the right hip down, don't tilt over to the side. Keep it down, hold the pose. Now bring that right foot forward between your hands. You can do it by dropping to your knees and stepping your right foot forward, or you can use your right hand to pull it up. You need to try to have your heel under your knee, your shin straight up and down. This is the kneecap. It seems to point a little past, but it's not. Lift beyond your fingertips or blocks. Press through the back heel. Lift your chest, hold the pose. Step to, no, let's not. Let's warm up both sides first. Right leg up in the air. And back down to downward dog. Left leg up. Hold it. Lunge it. Now step to forward bend. Feet a couple inches apart. Toes pointing straight ahead. You just hang down or make it a deeper stretch. Knees can be soft, slightly bent. Take your arms forward as you bend your knees, bend at the hips, and come up to chair pose. Try not to stick your tailbone up. Pull your abs in a little bit. You can do a variety of things with your arms. Whatever works for your back, your shoulders. Come all the way up. Interlace your fingers. Point your index finger, curve to the right. Hips over heels, or hips can swing left a little bit. Slowly back up. curve left. Slowly back up. Release. Your hands down. Free pose, right foot down. The foot wherever you can balance. Don't put it against your knee though. Warrior one, step the left foot back. Hips equal as far as the short edge of the mat, lined up with the short edge of the mat. Arms can be straight up or elbows bent. And then bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, palms facing. And let your palms come apart, your fingers stay interlaced. Straighten your right leg out. Squeeze your shoulder blades, straighten your arms. Stretch down over your right leg. You can keep your hands low. You can even put your hands on either side of your right foot. Or you can lift your arms up. Hold the stretch. I had to change my fingers because they were sliding. If you do other videos, when you watch somebody, check out their feet as well as the rest of their body. See how their feet are. Notice how my feet are pointing. Come forward and up. Bending your right knee back to warrior one. And this come to warrior three, balancing carefully. And mountain, arms overhead. Swan dive to a forward bend. Or palms together, forward bend. Chair pose again. All the way up. Release. Left foot down, tree pose. Warrior one. Head to knee, however you're doing it. Back up to warrior one. Warrior three. And come down to a lunge. Right foot is back in the lunge, turn center. Stretch down, wide forward bend. And lunge right. Step to forward bend. Reverse swan dive, inhale up. Exhale, release. Bring your left knee up, right foot stays down. Left knee up. Hold it, other arm is out for balance or wherever you want it to be. And see if you can reach down, grab your left big toe with your left hand and straighten it out. Ish. Bring the knee in, take it back, come down to a lunge again. With control, you can do that. Turn center and rest in a wide forward bend. Lunge left. Step to forward bend. Reverse swan dive, inhale up. Exhale, release. Right knee up. And see if you can grab the right big toe with your right hand and stretch it forward. And take it back to a lunge again. Turn center. Stretch down and wide forward bend. Reverse swan dive, inhale up. Right foot turns out, 90 degrees. Triangle, shift your hips. Nice straight line. Hold the pose. See if you take that left hand, the lifted hand, wrap it around behind you, back of the hand touches your back, and see if you can work it around so it almost or does touch your right hip or right thigh. Hold it. Don't hurt your shoulder though. Slowly lift your left arm back up. Imagine somebody has a hold of that hand and pull yourself up. Change sides. Triangle to the left. Try not to lean forward. Imagine you're standing between the walls in a very narrow hallway. Or a toaster, as one teacher says. You're in a toaster. You don't want to get burned, so you don't lean forward or back. A straight line. Now if you want, wrap your left arm around behind you and you can work it around. Try to touch your right thigh, outer thigh or hip. Carefully reach that right arm back up. Pull yourself up. Both feet forward. Wide forward bend. Walk or jump to mountain distance. And then separate your feet a little bit more than mountain distance. You'll have to decide. Mine are usually about 1.5 feet apart. Toes turned out. We're going to do the squats. If you cannot squat with your heels down, please don't do it. If you cannot squat down because of knees, use your props. And sit on your props. That'll take a lot of pressure off your knees. And you can still get a back stretch. If you can't keep your heels down, put your heels on a blanket. That'll have them lifted a little bit. You can even roll the blanket up more and have your heels lifted a little bit more. Not being able to put your heels down usually has to do with tight Achilles tendon or hamstrings. But it's not good for your knees to come down into a squat and be on the balls of your feet. That puts a lot of pressure on your knees. So your heels have to stay down one way or another, whether you're using your supports or whether you're going all the way down into a squat. Usually the best thing to do is to put your fingers on the mat so way far forward, or sort of forward, way far, and squat down and stay leaning forward so you don't fall backwards. Sometimes we're up on the balls of our feet because again, your hamstrings are pulling you back. So try to lean forward. Use your props, whether under your heels or under your glutes, or don't squat. Just do a chair pose. A chair pose is fine. Hold the pose. And carefully, hands behind you. However you need to do it, come to seated. Knees bent, feet in front. And balance in boat, legs up. I'm turning so you can see me. You can stay the same way. You can have your calves parallel to the mat. You can round your back, or you can lift your chest and arch inward a little bit. Don't lift your shoulders. They do not have anything to do with this pose. Either way, or anything in between, rounding. Rounding is Vinyasa yoga therapy. It's a little easier on the low back. Lifting up is, quote, the more traditional way. You can hold your legs, or you can reach past them, or you can straighten your legs, depending on the strength and the flexibility and the hamstrings, strengthen the quadriceps, abs. And release. Come to on your knees again. Yours can still be facing the same way. I'm just doing this so you can see what I'm doing better. Let's do a version of camel. And if you have a block, I highly recommend you put a block between your thighs. It can be touching the ground all the way down to your knees between your thighs. And you squeeze inward on that block a little bit. You can also separate your knees a little bit more than hip distance, which will help. You won't get as much outward pressure on the outer edges of your knees, which you don't want to have. Or you can have your legs parallel. And just be aware of always pushing slightly inward with your knees. No, don't overdo it. Just slightly, so you don't feel that pressure pushing out on the outer edge of your knee. That's not good for the knees. Interlace your fingers behind your back, or hold one wrist, and then you can change halfway through. Squeeze your shoulder blades, straighten your arms, lift your heart to the ceiling, press your hips forward, squeeze slightly inward. And you are looking up. Hold the pose. Camel pose, a version of. Do it as slightly as you need to for backs, or just squeeze your shoulder blades and stay straight. Try not to lean back with your thighs. Try to have your thighs straight up and down. Imagine you're pressing your belly and your thighs against a wall in front of you, so you don't lean back. Leaning back really won't hurt anything, but you won't get that back stretch. And that could be why you're leaning back. It's because it may hurt your back to arch, so you may lean back a little bit. But just be aware of what you're doing and see if you can do it without leaning. And release, and slowly and carefully put your hands down, separate your knees, let your big toes touch, and go down into a child's pose. And just stretch your back in the other direction for a moment. Going in there slowly. I'm gonna do a couple more. It's actually one more, but it's sided, so a couple more camels. Then we'll try a downward facing wheel with some props. Okay, come back up onto your knees as you were before, with a block or without a block, remembering to squeeze inward, maybe knees slightly wider, which is a little bit easier on the back. Put your left hand on your low back, the back of the hand, Little fingers out this way, you don't rotate all around somehow. And this right arm is up. And you can have it out if that hurts, to have your arm straight up. Press forward, lean back, don't lean back, arch your belly forward, arch your low back in, and hold it. This will be a long hold, but hold it. Your hand is, and you can turn your palm, so your palm is kind of on your low back, below your low back, on the sacrum, on the buttocks, on that sacrum area, and that way you can kind of keep it pressing forward a little bit if you want. Either way, try to press it forward and have your hand a little bit lower than the low back. You don't want to push the low back forward. Release. Other hand, whether you're doing it palm or back of the hand, again below the low back. I did say low back, but I really meant below. Left arm up and press your hips forward. You can put a little pressure with your right hand so that the hip doesn't come back. And that'll kind of move you forward toward that imaginary wall in front. Hold it for a little bit. And release. And again, work your way slowly and carefully down to child's pose. Extend it, or arms by your side, or stack your hands, whatever's going to work for you. And try to relax. Releasing any tension in your back from the arching inward. Come up to seated downward wheel. Come up to seated and just watch. You can do it with this kind of blanket, 2 of them or 1 of them, folded long and narrow. You can lay on there. Your legs are off. And you can lift. If you don't rock off the blanket. You can do it with the blankets wide and 2 of them. You can do it narrow and 1 of them. Bolster is a little high. You might lose your balance. But anyway, you lay with your belly and your chest, your breasts off the top of the blanket. I separate my legs the width of the blanket, so my legs are on the ground. The blanket has me lifted. You can have a block if you don't want your head to go down to the ground to start, or you can just keep it up. Or you can have a block, let your head rest on the block, reach behind. You can grab your ankles or the tops of your feet. Squeeze your shoulder blades and lift. And hold it. This won't be a long hold, and it can be a balance challenge. So do what you need to. You can even put blocks kind of on either side to help right where the balance would be at your hips. You don't want to be laying on the blocks. They don't give you enough length and they're hard. And it can be painful. Lower down. You can separate your knees. Work your way back. Even sitting on the blankets, arms on the blankets, child's pose. Child's pose with support. Rest for a moment. We'll do this one more time. And then we'll just do some nice stretching. So again, work your way forward using whatever supports you're using or not at all if you're used to doing this. Reach back if you can. Hold the tops of your feet or your ankles, palms wrapping around the outside of the foot, and kind of straighten your legs, lift your chest, don't hurt your shoulders. And just don't do this pose. You just do face down and your arms out to the side and lift up without holding your feet. Do a back strengthening instead of a stretching. Lower down, remove your props, whatever they may be. If you're going to be sitting on props, then bring whatever props you need to sit comfortably cross-legged. Remember, if you have a hip issue that makes your knee hurt or your hip hurt, put support underneath that knee as you sit cross-legged, left leg in front. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, reach forward and down. If the right knee doesn't like being compressed that much, you can straighten the right leg forward and still stretch down. It's a different stretch, but you still get left hip stretching as well. Hold the stretch. Just making sure I'm not on mute by accident. I forgot to keep checking my messages on my phone, just in case. Slowly come back up. Twist to the left. Lengthen up. Don't lean back. Don't lean sideways. Think about both buttocks, especially the right buttock. Sink the right buttock back down. You'll lift as you try to arch your back. Try to keep the low back relaxed, but lengthen the spine. Slowly back to center. Right leg crossed in front. Again, if the left knee doesn't like to be compressed that much, stretch the left leg out. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, reach forward and down and stretch. So today, I hope, anyway, with my son's help, to move some of my asparagus plants that I have in various areas, just to see how they would do in different spots, and move them all to one bed, which already has a number of asparagus plants in it, but I think we can find room for more. Slowly back up. Twist to the right. Hold the twist. Excuse me. In the gentle class, which comes 30 minutes after the end of this class, after core, we're going to do some hip strengtheners. So you may need to place the chair back of a sturdy chair to hold on to, or a wall or something to do the hip. It's range of motion and strengthening the supporting muscles and tendons and ligaments. Come back to center. Sit wide. Lean, actually, yeah, let's do it. Lean to the right. Try to keep your arm along the side, left side of your head and face, not in front. Try to stay rotated sideways. Don't turn your left shoulder toward the mat. Hold it. Or your left front side of your body toward the mat. Just go straight sideways as best you can. And I am going to change the music for core. I think I figured out I can do that, how to do it. I tested it, it seemed to work. A little bit more upbeat. Slowly back up, side stretch to the left. Hold it. We did get, I think, today, delivered again today, although I think I heard it might have just been delivered, new webcam, so the picture will not be a soft focus, it will be sharper, which might be not a necessarily good thing. Maybe I like it soft focus better. It's kind of like candlelight or darker. Usually makes me look better. Every little help you can get, you know. Slowly back up. And to seated, whatever's comfortable for you. Hands on your shoulders and rotate your elbows, big circles. And I know that oftentimes in Hatha yoga, there are things that you can do to strengthen your abs and your back. But since most of you stay for core, I save it for core. So if you feel like you need a little bit more back strengthening or ab strengthening, stay for core. You don't have to do all of it. You can do some and then rest and watch for a while and then maybe do some more. Circle the other way around. Nobody will know, not even me. I can't see the names of the people signed up unless I actually go up and look. I can see the number of participants, but unless I go onto a different screen, I can't see the name of the participants. So even I don't know. Release. And we're ready for core. We're going to start standing. So come to standing with your feet hip distance or a little bit wider if you want. Bend your knees. Bend at the hips. If you are a little bit wider, turn your toes out and bend your knees out wide. But try to have your legs parallel for this. Bend your knees, bend at the hips. Rest your hands lightly on your thighs and arch inward. Round back. Use your abs to round back. Use your back muscles to arch inward. Notice my shoulders do not go up and down. My arms stay the same. My knees stay about the same place. All about the back. Mostly low back and mostly low abs. And then straighten up. Legs straight, still hip distance apart. Just checking to make sure. And this is just a normal kind of thing for in yoga, but it will work the abs in the back. Please be sure to activate, intentionally activate and pull in your abs when you go up and go down. Okay, it's just going to be a forward bend coming into and out of. If you find it's too strong on the back, then stand quite a bit wider and turn your toes out and do the same thing. But if you can do it with straight legs, you don't have to go all the way to the floor. This isn't about stretching. This is about strengthening. So arms up, put your palms together, keep your back flat, keep your palms in close as you go into a forward bend. Drop your hands, take them out to the side as you slowly lift your chest, flatten your back, and then come all the way up. Remember, don't pull yourself up with your arms. Your arms go no higher toward the ceiling than your shoulders when you're coming up. Forward bend. Arms out, tighten your abs, pull yourself up with your abs as much as you can. Please don't lift your hands, your arms toward the ceiling. Just straight up, parallel to the mat. Help flatten your back. Tighten your abs. Palms together, in close. As you go down, arms out to the side, tighten your abs. As you come up, try to come up with a flat back. So when you go down, when you hang down for a second, your back is rounded. So take your arms out and flatten your back and come up. And do it sideways. I hope I'm doing it right. If not, ignore what I do. Arms out to the side, flatten your back. Come up. A couple more times. Forward bending, slowly, abs firm and pulled in. Intentionally activate them. Arms out to the side, flatten your back, and come all the way up. One more time. Palms together in a forward bend, slowly, abs active. Abs active as you take your arms out to the side, flatten your back, come up, and release. Hands on your hips or out to the side. Lift your left knee up as far as you can and then back down. Right knee up. Left knee up. If you lift it up past the navel, you'll be working the abs. If you lift it up low, it's going to be more quadriceps. Since this is a ab class and back strengthening class, you want to lift it up higher, even if you round your back a little bit. Try to move slowly, but if you start to lose your balance, put your foot down. So next week, I think, is Thanksgiving, right? So we will not have class next Thursday. And I know some of you will be Zooming or Skyping or FaceTime with family and friends this Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time, however it is. And when I think about the people complaining because it's, quote, canceled, it's really not canceled. And it's better to have less family around, knowing that that way next year they'll all be here and you can have a big gathering. One more time, both sides. Stand wide. Toes turned out. We're going to do this. You have a choice of doing it two different ways. One is slightly more challenging. The first way is just right hand to the left, shin or ankle without bending your left knee, just to try to touch the ground. This is for the back and the abs. Tighten your abs as you come up. It's not about how far you go or stretching. And back up. The other way to do it is right to left, and then reach the right arm out to the left. Then slowly bring it up overhead and come back. It'll depend on if your shoulder and your back want to do it this way, because this is working the back one side at a time. You may not like it. So just reach down and come back up, tightening your abs, or reach out and overhead and come back up. Either way, tighten your abs. Your back is working, but use your abs to help keep going. After you reach your left hand to your right, you come back up. And just bring your feet back together and kind of walk in place, a little movement, just to stay warmed up while we wait for everybody loosened up. Okay, we've done this before. We do this sometimes even in gentle class because it's nice. Does work the abs. You can do it a little bit bigger in this class than we might do it in gentle. When you reach your right leg forward, you're not going to just reach a little bit and touch your toes. You're going to reach it out and bring it back. Reach it out sideways. You're not going to touch and bring it back. Take it slowly to the back without leaning way far forward and lifting it way high. Just because you got to use your glute muscle. If you lean down, it's not going to do it as much. Sit back down. Left leg forward and down to the side and down and back a little bit and down. Right side. And notice I'm not turning my foot. I'm keeping my toes pointing forward when I take it to the side. And back. And actually, intentionally keep yourself up. Even arch your back a little bit so you don't lean forward. Left foot forward, side, back, right foot forward, side, back, left, forward, side, back, right, forward. I had to move forward because of the blanket. Side, oops, don't turn my foot. back, forward, side, back. One more time, both sides, forward, side, back, forward, side, back. All right, come to lying on your mat, on your back. This is good. We should just do this for the rest. No? Okay, you say so. Hands under your buttocks, legs up in the air. Try to keep your legs straight as you lower down toward the mat. Pay attention to your back. If your back starts to lift, don't go down that far. Go down as far as you can, keeping your back pushed down without touching the mat, and come back up. Squeeze your legs together. That'll help support your back and your SI joints. Do it with your knees slightly bent, as slightly as possible if you need to keep your back down. And if that doesn't work, bend them a little bit more, because that brings your knees up and stretches your back, it keeps it flatter. Keep moving slowly down. Don't swing your legs up, make it a slow lift. That is the hard part. That's the part that's going to be working your abs the most, is when you lift those heavy legs back up. Yes, they're heavy because they have strong muscles. Please be aware of backs. Please activate your abs. Push your back toward the mat again. Don't overdo it so you can't even breathe. If you're making a face and straining, that's called overdoing it. Work hard. Don't overdo it. Doesn't help anything. Just a few more. Okay, hug both knees in towards your chest. Rock a little bit side to side, massage your back. Again, laying with both legs straight, arms out to the side. You know how to modify this if your hamstrings are tight. If your hamstrings are tight, you bring the leg up and then you bend the knee and take the knee across and then come back up and down. If you can't reach your legs straight out 90 degrees or so from your torso, like mine is right now, if you're reaching it down to here, then you want to bend your knee and take your knee, your thigh, straight out 90 degrees from your torso. Because taking your leg down to here can strain the back. I mean, I can't force you to do anything. I'm just giving you advice from what I've learned. Right, let's start with right leg up. Take it across slowly. Come back up. Tighten your abs, lower down. Left leg up. Take it across. Okay, if the shoulder lifts, tighten your abs, come back up. Lower down. And keep moving. Slowly, mindfully working the waist, working the abs, and working the back. Strengthening. Finish your left leg. And then when you're done, hug both knees in, rock side to side, massage your back. Up to hands and knees, please. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Do some cat-cow arching and rounding slowly. Shoulders uninvolved. Come back to neutral. Now step your left leg back so that it's straight and touching the mat. And then point your toes and lower your left knee down, back there. Bring your right knee forward towards your right arm as if to touch it. Don't let it touch down, don't let it go back, and hold it. Yes, indeed, hold it. You can round your back if you want. Your head is also to the knee. Try to keep your hips forward of your left knee. Just a little bit longer. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now move your right leg back. Again, see how my legs are angled? Your right leg back there. Moving your left knee forward towards your left arm. You can do head to knee if you want. Hold it. Move your left knee back beside the right knee. You're still in that angle. This is called a modified plank. And bring your right knee forward again. Out. Shifting your hips. Just bring it forward. Use your abs. Hold it in. Right knee back beside your left knee. Bring your left knee forward again. Take head to knee if you want, rounding your back. Right knee back, by left. One more set. Right knee in, head to knee, hold it. Right knee back. Left knee in. Left knee back, separate your knees, work your way back. Sit toward your heels. Child's pose, stretch your back, hold the pose. Now, back onto your belly, all the way down. On your forearms, you can reach, oh, this is easier. Let's do it with our hands stacked and your forehead on your stacked hands. Throw your toes under. This is for the pelvic floor. So it's abs, but it's a little bit deeper than that. It's a little bit better. Toes are curled under, not pointed. They're curled under, feet are flexed. So I'm gonna, can you see my feet? I'm gonna change. Keep your forehead down on your hands. And all you're gonna do is try to lift your legs like this. Your butt comes up, your hips come up, and you lift, but your belly stays down. The upper abs stay down. But below abs, the hips, and the whole legs come up, but you don't lift up high. It's just lift a little bit and back down. Keep doing that. Rest down for pause for a second or two. And then lift again. I don't know if you can actually see that. I'm gonna tuck this in so you can see that my belly comes off. A little bit better. Maybe. My low ribs and my upper abs stay down. This is good for the pelvic floor. Squeeze your glute muscles as you lift. One more time, and then work your way back. Child's pose, stretch your back again. Go up to hands and knees. Hands under hips, wrists under shoulders. Lift your left leg up. Knee bent 90 degrees. Foot is flexed slightly, not overdone. Just to the flat bottom of your foot facing the ceiling. And press your knee up a little bit. Release a little bit. Press. Release. Press. Release. 3, 4. Try to keep your right elbow straight. 5. Try not to sink into your shoulders. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lower down. Change legs. Right leg up. Knee bent about 90 degrees. Bottom of the foot facing the ceiling. Lift. Press up. 1. Release a little. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you're really going to need the stretching that comes at the beginning of the gentle class, even if you just stay for that part and you don't stay for the hip strengthening stuff. Okay, lean back, knees bent, seated. Tilt, gentle tilts, warming up. You can turn your fingers to point forward, which makes it easier to bend your elbows if you find you need to do that. Sometimes that can be a little more challenging on the back, sometimes less. So you find what works for you. Tilt your knees to the right, lift your legs up to the right. Lower your heels back center Tilt your knees left. Legs up. Feet back center. Tilt right. Legs up. Center. Left. Legs up. Feet center, but your knees are still tilted. Then tilt them to the other side. Don't tilt them far. Again, that would strain your back. Just slowly, side to side. Keep going. If you tilt your legs down real far and try to lift, that can really pull on your back too much. Let's not hurt ourselves trying to help ourselves. So my one son's making a cranberry torte dessert. My other son is making a brioche for dessert. Oh, I need to have him send me a picture of that so I can post it. If he will, he may not. After you lift your legs to the left one last time, come back to center, left leg crossed in front, and stretch forward and down. Come back up, right leg crossed in front. Stretch forward and down. Come back up. One more on your backs. Hands under your buttocks. Do a big slow bicycle. The leg goes out straight, almost goes down to the mat. It's not these little pumps. It's big, almost down to the mat. Your abs activated, pulled in a little bit. Make sure your back doesn't arch up. Go down with a straight leg as close to the mat if you feel your back arching up. The hands under the buttocks should help to keep your back down. And reverse. Go backwards. Hug both knees in, rock side to side. And if you're staying for gentle, lie just a moment with your legs straight, your arms by your side, a little bit out with your arms. Tuck your chin just a little bit to stretch the back of your neck. Breathe. If you're not staying for gentle, do this anyway, like Shavasana. Just close your eyes and breathe. Reach your arms overhead. You can bend your elbows, have your arms a little out to the side, or you can reach them straight overhead. Whatever works for your shoulders, your back. It does lift the back up, so be aware of that. Don't try to force the back down. This is just what happens. And from here, inhale where you are. And as you're exhaling, bring your right knee up, bring your arms up, hug it in. Keep exhaling until you finish the exhale. Then as you start to inhale, lower your right leg down, arms overhead, inhaling as you move. Finish your inhale. And left leg up with your exhale. Arms up, pull it in. Finish complete exhale. Inhale as you take the leg down, arms overhead. Keep alternating sides. And I mentioned the breath because this one is easy to practice, moving with the breath. So do so. Start here. Start learning to be in charge of your breath. Make your breath coordinate with your movement. You'll be surprised how being in charge of your breath can change your life in so many different ways. When you're aware of the breath, you can modify it as needed during stressful times. It'll change the body chemistry. It'll help the brain. It'll help the central nervous system to relax once you learn how to control and how to manage your breath. Change it sometimes when you need to. Next time you're hugging your right knee in, keep hugging that right knee in. Let the left leg rest on the mat. Don't lift your shoulders up. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Just use some arm muscles. Hug that knee in. Try to keep the leg relaxed. If you need to, bend your left knee a little bit if it feels better on your back, rather than have the left leg straight. Just hold that stretch. That's a great stretch for backs, tight backs, hugging one knee, and all of this whole routine is really good for loosening up the back and the hips. Don't do it in a relaxed way. Your legs are relaxed, but use your arm muscle. Pull that knee in. Make it work for you. Now cup your right hand over the top of the knee and circle or rotate the leg from the hip, keeping a hold of the knee. And let it go. Take it across, not to the point where your right hip or buttock lifts. Take it out to the right, not to the point where your left buttock lifts. Just a nice rotation within its range of motion. A little bit pushing against the range of motion so that the extreme edges are just a little bit challenging, but not to where your body has to lift up because it's too much. The other way around, please. Slowly, mindfully. Close your eyes. You can feel more what's happening if you take some of that brain power that's used for analyzing vision and release it so that it can feel some of that brain power to feel what's happening in the body. Now bring the knee back in. You can bend the left knee a little bit so you can shift your hips to the right. Take your right knee over to the left. Shift a little bit more if you need to. Right foot is resting on the inner left leg. Press it to the floor. Try to keep your knee, your heel tucked in towards your buttock. Your knee bent a lot. Try not to move it out. Try to have your knee up a little towards your chest, but again, don't overdo it. And be careful you don't pull on the right shoulder. Just try to get that arm down, that shoulder down. Know all these things, all these ways. Use them. Let your right shoulder or your right arm rest on a blanket behind you or a block, or just let the hand rest on your side. Don't try to pull that shoulder toward the mat with your arm. You can tear. Rotator cuff injuries. I mean, we've all heard of them. Let's not do it to ourselves on purpose. I mean, we all may reach for something or do something and pull the shoulder, but let's not do when we know otherwise something that is going to hurt us. So rotate your ribs to the right, rotate the whole torso to the right, or have a couple blankets behind you for your arm. Make sure the elbow is supported, the whole arm, so that you're not hyperextending the elbow. I mean, make sure the bottom half of the arm is supported as well as the top half. Roll back over, keep your right knee bent, put your right foot on the mat, and let your right knee go slowly out to the right without forcing it down, without lifting your hip. Just relax it out to the right. Just let gravity do the stretching. And do relax it. Go in there with your mind. Again, your mind-body connection. We are so disconnected with our bodies. It's like not a good thing to be connected to your bodies. To pay attention. To reconnect. Try to relax that right leg. Try to relax your jaw, the space between your eyebrows. Just allow that leg to go however far it wants to go to the floor without pushing it. Relaxed muscle can stretch more easily. Blood can flow more easily when it's relaxed. It's not tight and tense. Bring your right knee back up and straighten your right leg beside your left. Let's do everything with the left leg. Hug the left knee up. Hold it. Try to keep the foot relaxed, both legs relaxed. If you need to, bend your right knee a little bit. Feel the stretch. Hold the stretch. Feel where you feel the stretch. Just close your eyes. Go inside. Notice where you feel this. Back, your hip, your right leg, the front of the right leg, hip flexors, your shoulders. Notice where you may be holding tension that you don't need to. Relax that tension. Don't grit your teeth. Stretch your back. And cup your left hand over the top of the knee and rotate it. Not so that you lift up, so that you move within the hip joint. If you lift up, it's because the joint's too tight. You're just giving in to that tightness instead of changing it. So don't roll your torso, roll your body, just rotate the hip using your arm. Create the movement, try to keep your legs relaxed. It's an oval. You don't let it go out straight by letting go of the knee. I mean, we have it straight all the time. We don't keep it in here and take it across very often. Go the other direction, please, whatever that may be for you. This is generally the least comfortable way to rotate for you. Take the knee across the body. Shift your hips a little bit to the left. Take the left knee across your right hand to press it down. Left foot resting on the right inner thigh. Don't worry about your left shoulder lifting. Remember not to try to push it down by pulling on the shoulder. Push and feel pull on the front of the left shoulder. We talked about that when we did the other side. So use whatever you need. Adjust however you need. Twisting poses are good for cleansing the internal organs, the liver, the spleen, the kidneys. It aids the digestive system, and we now know how important a healthy digestive system is for the immune system. Talk to each other. They send signals. Roll back over, keep your left knee bent. Let your left foot go out to the left. Let your left foot gently touch your right inner thigh. And relax. Relax, close your eyes. Don't force anything. Allow your muscles to relax. They may be tightening up, even holding you back from relaxing and letting the stretch go a little bit further wherever gravity and your leg want to go without forcing anything. And remember, if you want any YouTube versions of this, they're $5. You can watch them repeatedly if you find a class that seems to work on the areas you need. And you get all 3 classes on the video. You can just watch the core, just do the core, you can just do the gentle. Bend your right knee. Bottoms of your feet together, knees apart. You're still lying down, but this is how it looks. Heels are in, knees are wide, not forcing anything. Just relax. This will lift your back up a little bit, and that's okay. Don't try to force it down. Just relax. So if you're going away or your internet connection isn't, well, YouTube is still internet, isn't it? Yeah, you can't download from YouTube. You have to watch it. But you can do it through your phone. Anyway, it's a good way to do some of the ones that, and you can pick the ones that just make you feel good, or you can pick the ones that are really hard. Someday you might want to work harder, someday you might want to be gentle with yourself. So any of them, whatever works for you. Knees up. Now, as I mentioned in the earlier classes, we're going to do some hip stuff. So you're going to need a way to hold on to something when you come to standing. You can use like the back of a kitchen chair, or a wall, or a dresser, if it's high enough, or a wall will work. I'm using the chair so that I can face you. But hold on to something. I mean, you really will need to hold on to something. It's not necessarily balancing. Even a stick, but a stick may not be, maybe it may throw you off too much. You need to have something that's not going to move. So with your hand on, your right hand on a chair or on something, able to see me, maybe you'll have to start with your left side to see me and then just do it from memory with your right. Anyway, the leg that's furthest away from wherever you're holding, lift it up and circle the knee. Keep the knee bent, and as if you're drawing a big circle in front of you. And you can rotate your torso a little bit. But it's a big circle. Lift it up, drawing a circle in front. This is 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Start with it up in the front and then go the other way around. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. I don't know if that's the other way around or not. 5. Just go the other way. Keep going the other way. 4. 3. 2. 1. Now I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. If you're still facing this way, this is the easier way. You're going to bring the knee up, same leg, keeping it bent. Press it back without leaning forward. Just press it back to feel this muscle working. Lift it up and press it back. And this works deep in the hip area. 3 and back. 4 and back. 5, back. 6, stay straight. 7, 8. Yeah, we're strengthening around the hip. I know this is hard. 9, 10. Now, keep your heel in line with your knee. And don't turn your knee out. Tip your thigh. Put your hand on your thigh. And keep your hand in front. Don't let it go out to the side, right? And lift that leg straight out to the side and back. 2, 3. See how it stays together. 4. My thigh points forward. It doesn't turn just to lift high. That uses totally different muscles. 5, 6, 7. Look at your leg. Make sure your thigh is still facing forward as it lifts. 9, 10. Eek. Lift. If your left leg lifts, it doesn't have to be lifted high. Just get your foot off the ground and circle your foot. Just for the ankle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, One. Hi, hi. Swing the right leg a little bit. We still got a little bit more to do with that. Or the leg closest to the chair, whatever that one is. And put it back down again. Hook your outside foot around the back of the supporting leg and lift your heel. 1, 2, or you can just lift this up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, shake the right leg, the leg closest to the chair or the support. Shake it a little bit. Put it back down. Bring your outside knee up. Put your hand down around the top of the foot or the ankle. Let the knee drop down. Stretch your quadricep. We did a lot to strengthen in here. We don't want to tighten. We want to tone. There's a difference. Tight muscles, tight tendons and ligaments and supporting structure is not healthy. Tightening the hips is not healthy for your knees and your back, to say nothing of your hips. But oftentimes knee issues come from tight hips and hamstrings. A little bit longer. Try to relax that supporting leg. It's going to have work to do here in a minute. Okay, lower down. Change sides. Put your hand on the wall, opposite other wall, or turn if you need to, or move your chair. The leg furthest away from whatever you're using for support lifts up. Knee is bent 90 degrees and circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then bring it all the way back up to starting and then circle the other way. 1, 2, this leg's tired already. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, keeping the knee bent, bring the knee up, press it back without leaning. See, I'm not leaning, I'm trying to stay more or less straight, so I work these muscles. If I lean, I won't be working them as well. 2, back, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put that leg down, shake out the supporting leg a little bit. Lower it back down. Bend the right. Take it straight up. The knee does not lead the way. The heel and the knee go out at the same. Try not to lean away from it. Try to stay straight. 3. Just feel it in the hip here, not the quadricep, not the front of the hip, the side. 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah. 9. This is an area that hardly ever gets any strengthening. 10. Bring the leg forward. And you can just lift a little bit. Circle the foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sarah, shake it out a little bit again. Left other leg. Way back down. Hook your foot behind. Lift your heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Strengthens the calf and the ankle. 8, 9, 10. When you're outside, in my case, right knee up, drop the knee down, hold around the top of the foot, stretch, stay straight, hold the stretch, relax the supported leg. Those things we do for ankles are important also for knees. The more movement you maintain in both your hips and your ankles, the safer for your knees, because your knees are designed to only bend this way, not this way. So when we turn our foot and the ankle is tight, it tries to pull the knee around. Especially again if the hip is tight. If you turn your leg, it should be from the hip, not from the knee. If you turn your foot, it should be from the ankle, not from the knee. Release. We are almost done. I know, don't cry. I'm just seated. You're on a blanket if you want or not. If your hips, again, hip is tight or your knee isn't comfortable, put something underneath that knee, because the tight hip is going to cause the knee pain. This will help, or you can put one under both, whatever works. Let's put our bottoms of our feet together. Heels in close and do some butterfly workout. Any tightness that may still be left in the hips. Tight, again, is not what we're aiming for. Tone and increasing slightly range of motion and maintaining it. And then keeping your back straight, just lean forward a little bit and come back up. Don't stick your head out, don't drop your head, rounding your back, keep your back straight, just lean forward a little bit, come back up. So the whole motion is happening in your hips, not in your back, not in your neck, just your hips. Ooh. And let yourself round over your legs. Just hang there, let your head hang. Stretch your neck as well as your back. And again, just a gravity stretch. Don't try to force anything. Slowly back up. We are done. Did a great job. It's gentle in the fact that just about everybody can do most of it, even if you have to rest sometimes. But it still is good for strengthening and stretching. You all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see some of you, most of you, on Tuesday. Sat Nam and Namaste.